Welcome back to the vlog, guys. Welcome here to Yambai Talk with Jeff today. First time for him landing here as well as taking off, and we're heading up to Compium to pick up a couple more medical people to head down to Madiyama today. So let's go ahead and get started and get out of here. As you guys can see, just looking straight ahead, we're not quite pointed straight to the end of the runway, and it's because there's a slide slope here. So we're kind of pointed off a little bit so that when all of our torque, we release the brakes, it's going to just bring us back to more center line. And then also what we're going to do is we're going to do like a full right aileron. And I don't know all the dynamics behind it, but doing aileron actually does help on side slopes. That way we don't have to hit the brake and just drag our brake until we're center lined. We're pretty light today, so shouldn't be a problem. Compium is just about 23 miles behind us, and we'll probably climb up to 8,000. We're at 500 feet right now. Climb up to 8,000 to get over top of the clouds to get into where we need to.
So we're going to want to see airspeed alive. I mean, we've got the end of the parking bay, but I'd say even prior to that, we're going to want to see airspeed alive by that. Otherwise, it's going to be full reverse max braking, flaps up. And then I'd stay to the left if we've got to continue to stop, and then it's going to be cut off, pull off, and turn off. Then emergencies, masters, and door.
One thing with just going off of just an airspeed only, as far as like I'm going to see airspeed alive, what if you were like overloaded, or what if you had a flat tire and you still got your airspeed or it was low, but you still got airspeed, but then you're not like, well, it still feels really slow. But if you haven't like determine what feels slow, you might go, oh, well, I've got airspeed, I'm just going to go ahead and continue now.
You're using more of this, hey, this...
I want at least 40 knots by a specific point,
okay,
so that if I'm not getting that, because the times that I have been overloaded going out of bush places, I kind of was like, oh, we'll have airspeed alive by that taxi line.
And you do.
And then I did, and then I was like, and it was at Sendini, and I was like, well, I've got it. It doesn't feel right, but I have it. I'm going to go ahead and choose to continue.
Okay.
And then, like, I was rolling off the end of the cliff, you know, barely airborne.
Yourself then at that one.
And then I'm like, you know what? I'd rather have a specific performance number.
Okay.
Like, I want 40 knots and climbing pretty quickly at that point, you know, by the end of those banana trees or right before that little shack up there on the right.
Okay. And that's a reasonable performance check then.
We're super light today, so yeah, that
we should have 40 knots by the by that cone.
Or
there.
Start looking at these push places and go, and like as you're taking off, go, okay, I was 40 knots here and I was empty or I was full or whatever else, and kind of put those in your backlog.
And then we'll be rotating to 57, and we want to see 40 knots by those banana trees over report.
Okay. And then just do full right aileron just because we're on a side slope. And then once you get down kind of where that little, whatever that is on the runway, that little stick or whatever it is, leaf, by then when you're kind of leveled off, then you can start bringing these back out.
Okay.
It looks like we'll have a quartering tailwind for takeoff.
Okay. Want to do the calls?
All stations, Yambai Talk 128.5, November Tango Zulu will be departing Yambai Talk for Compium. Outbound track 181 will be on climb 8,000. All stations, Yambai Talk. I'll get the other guys in the air, but we can just get going. Otherwise, all of our fuel is just draining.
It's draining over there. And wait, so you'll get them in the air?
Yep, I'll get those guys.
All right. 1,500, 57, 40 knots by that. And then as we get going, I'll start rolling wings level and then rotate. So ignition, prop condition, flaps are at 20, seatbelts and fuel. All right, where's our 40 knots?
40? And just
terrain, pull up,
push the nose over as you're turning, though. Otherwise, your airspeed is going to bleed off. So you can do it when you're light, but when you're heavy, it's, yeah, no. We wanted the one with the river coming out of it before we go up it, which I believe is just this big one right here. We've got another plane, I guess that's at 9,000 feet higher than us, so we're good. Worsby 6598, November Tango Zulu departure. November Tango Zulu departed. Yambai talk time 25. Tracking 181 on climb 8,000. Estimating compium 40, 4 POB. And then make sure that this is the one we want. I don't know if this is quite yet, because we've got another river up here. There is a river though. November Tango Zulu departed. Yambai talk time 25. Tracking 181 on climb 8,000. Estimating compium 40. Actually, I think that is it.
Looks fairly prominent, and then...
Yeah, okay, that's the only prominent one. I've only had to do this flight like once.
Flipping over.
Yeah. But yeah, you can see there's just a lot of clouds.
Yeah, there is.
Up there. So we're going to have to go all the way up to 8,000.
And try and get over them.
And then but sometimes even I think I went out that way.
But does it look better? Because you can come around the ridge.
It does look like potentially better. Let's see if we can go out that way maybe, because it just looks like
it's gonna,
we can get ourselves, now it's going to be a lot of work to get in and out of here.
Do you think, if we come around, it makes it a lot easier?
I don't know if we need to go all the way around. Because I mean, that's going to add probably, like on a 12-minute flight, that's going to add like 8 minutes or more.
Just as we get around, and then we'll get a little more altitude, and then we can evaluate.
Yeah, because the terrain is so much lower out here, there's a better chance that we can get up to our altitude that we need to, and then find, because when we came in, it was like looking pretty scattered looking. It wasn't that bad. So. Is that November Tango Zulu? November Tango Zulu, go ahead, 6598.
Call now on 6538, 6538 duty departure.
Switching to 6538, November Tango Zulu. Apparently didn't hear my departure call very well. Worsby 6538, November Tango Zulu departure.
November Tango Zulu, go ahead.
November Tango Zulu departed. Yambai talk time 25. Tracking 181 on climb not above 8,000. Estimating compium 40 with 4 POB.
November Tango Zulu at a Guinea 1010.
1010 November Tango Zulu. It'll just really help us in our climb because there's not nearly as many clouds that you're climbing into.
Well, this looks a lot less work than looking up that valley going, oh, there's a little tiny hole up there.
One tiny hole, yeah.
And then, yeah, we can kind of cut, you know, depending, if we can get some altitude, cut over.
Yep. If you guys want to fly the same one on your flight sim, I'll post this on my Patreon page where you guys could, well, just put the screenshot on there. I think I already have this flight on there, but because we're doing a video, you could actually follow along with this exact same screenshot as well. And if you want to see some on-the-ground content, I have some videos on there as well of Yambai Talk. We did a solar panel project there for the medical clinic a few months back, and just completed that.
206 for Malibu.
Oh, we can maybe look at the clouds and go, the clouds are sort of going down this way. So rather than going that way, up to over here, where we're going right now, we've got another 1,000, 1,300 feet. I don't know if we're going to cross those, but we might be go up there and find some potential holes. So.
Juliet, morning, go ahead.
Compium, the touchdown zone is 4,800 feet. We want 5,800 feet on the downwind. It's kind of really similar. We're the same pattern for Yambai Talk where you're going out and then you just kind of turn around. Okay. And there's a hill right here and you're just going to like scrape over top of these trees right before you turn your final. And it's, it's pretty close to the trees too. But it's a really long, 800 meters long, 810 meters long, 3% slope. So the same as Goroka as far as slope goes. It looks like it's a nice grassy runway, nice and smooth, but it's actually very rough, like it's just like a hard rocky ground. So yeah, it's just very rough feeling.
That's 8,000, where we're gonna have to probably either climb or go around.
Yeah. We'll probably go around because we've got one hole there, but it kind of goes down, and I don't know this area well enough to know what that actually goes down into.
Okay.
If it's the valley we want or not. There, right there is potentially a hole.
ORC 653, Hotel Charlie Victor.
Yeah, that's... You can wiggle through that, at least on top of where we are right now.
Okay.
We want to go that way, yeah? Or no?
Yeah, it's...
I think what you could have done is gone in and out, but that's all right.
Okay. I mean, I could climb a little more too. You gotta descend down to 6,000 is pattern altitude?
1,800.
1,800, okay. Once we get over this, we should be...
Yeah, even right here, you can start.
Start our descent then.
That looks like the valley's all open up there, too. All stations, Compium, Kodiak November Tango Zulu, 900 miles to the north. On descent from 9,000. Estimating Compium 37. Right, and we said the runway's on runway 23. Okay. 5,800 for downwind. Turning your base kind of to final, or actually more, it's like downwind to final is at 5,600 is what we'll do. Touchdown's 4,800 feet. It's all really nice and wide open. We'll be having a bunch of people on board with us heading out to Mariama for our next flight, so now it's just a good idea to quickly look to see our altitude, where we want to go, and we want to head out this way.
Okay, out the valley and then...
Yeah, so we'll probably come right back out the exact same way and then head down there.
Well, if we got to go around, is it
just a right-hand turn up the valley.
Okay.
Or basically a 180.
Okay. But at our weight, probably just straight or up.
I would just, and
right.
anyway, probably I'd just pick out what's the most comfortable. So
Okay.
usually just right up the valley because it's all low.
What I do, yeah, need to go around. It's going to be increased power, flaps 20, pitch for 73, and then set the power for 740, and then a slight right up the valley. See down there,
here.
sure.
It looks fine. I don't see anything on it. I don't see any windsock around here, but we'll see it. A lot of times there'll be tailwinds on landing. I don't see the windsock or anything like that. So if you look at this little green circle,
That's our flight protector.
yep. If you put it between the first line and the top line, it's around 500. On
Okay.
most scenarios.
Okay. Gotcha.
So just if you're like, oh crap, I'm already like that far down, like 5 degrees or 7 degrees, I already know that it's going to be like over
Way
1,000.
too fast. Okay.
Right, 5,800 for our downwind. Yeah, it looks like we'll probably have 4 to 5 knots on the tail coming in.
Level off here. 160 or 86 for downwind.
There's another runway right up straight ahead. Those little houses on the hill, we're going to fly right over top of those.
Okay.
We're going to go up here, turn 5,600 for a little bit further, and then kind of cut over there to that. Now the lower houses, there's the road, and then there's like 3 little houses. It's the lower houses that we'll fly right over top of.
We want to be 70, slowing to 76, and then 66 on flat out.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
We go past the hill and then kind of come at an angle from it. That once we get over there, we're basically on our final, I should say. Now is a good time where you can start turning. That way you can start seeing the runway of where you actually want to get your flaps in. There are some higher trees right on that hill that are kind of thin, so they're hard to see. Oh, this is looking great.
$500.
But I mean, some of them are like,
Sure, a
they're
little
not really
hard to, just spindly branches. Bit full flaps. Blowing to 66.
will get low. I mean, rough.
Yep.
It looks smooth, but we can only get 450 kgs out of here because we have to pick that back up in Mariama later this week.
Okay.
And we can only get 450 out of there.
Okay.
So
We
unless
don't wanna
they're
take
bringing
more.
extra in case it's like food or something.
They don't have to bring back.
Exactly. All right, well, there you go, guys. Like I said, we're picking up, I think, 5 medical staff here to head down to Mariama. I'm not sure what they're doing down there. But thanks for joining along on this flight with Jeff and I. Hope you guys enjoyed it. And like I said, if you want to fly these, check out the Patreon page or some on-the-ground content. As well as if you guys like these sunglasses, I have those on my site in stock now as well. So thanks again, guys. See you next time.